Ever feel like Wall Street's moving before you can even know what's happening? Like big players already got in and you're left chasing crumbs? That's where unusual options activity scanners come in. They claim to show you what the smart money is doing in real time. But are they worth it? I tested Unusual Whales, Cheddar Flow, and Barchart, and by the end of this video, you'll know which one actually helped me spot a move before it happened. So here's where I started, deep in the weeds of user reviews, because let's be real, flashy stock options tools and bold claims don't mean anything if traders are running into the same issues over and over again. Now, when I dig into any option strategy platform, I always check the one-star reviews first. That's where the real story tends to hide. With Unusual Whales, one guy on the Play Store called the recent design update a total mess. Said the icons were basically invisible, dark pools lost their sentiment pie chart, and the whole thing felt like the dev team forgot to test it before launch. Honestly, that sounds frustrating. But design updates are almost always polarizing. I've been through multiple redesign rollouts across trading tools, and it's the same pattern. Initial confusion, followed by tweaks based on feedback. And to be fair, that wasn't a common complaint. Most people seemed happy with the improvements, and some even said it's the best it's ever been after years of use. This option trader said that the app made options trading easier to grasp when he was just starting out. Simple enough for beginners, but deep enough for real analysis. Another stock options trader said after using it for years, he's finally profitable every month. That's a pretty big statement. Now, over to Cheddar Flow. One trader said the pricing felt a bit steep for what you get. They mentioned that customer service was slow and even claimed the platform charged them before their free trial ended. That kind of billing issue sucks. No getting around that. But here's what I've learned from years of subscribing to trading tools. Set a calendar reminder if you're using a trial, and always use a credit card to protect yourself. Worst case scenario, you dispute the charge and move on. But again, I couldn't find many people saying the same thing. Most of the positive feedback I read mentioned that Cheddar Flow gave them real insight into how the whales move the market. One guy said it took some time to understand, but once he got it, the power alerts helped him follow large trades with confidence. He also highlighted that it gives him the leverage he needs to trade around big market events. That's pretty solid. Next, we've got Barchart. One user said the site's been breaking down more lately, and that top management basically ignored his messages. He appreciated the data, but said poor customer service made him think twice about renewing. That's a red flag, right? But here's the thing. If something was really broken, I'd expect to see a flood of complaints about it. Instead, I saw mostly praise. One subscriber said Barchart Premier was a steal at $200 a year, especially considering how much data it offers across crypto, stocks, and more. He also called the presentation clean, fast, and packed with customizable filters. So yeah, every platform's got a few rough reviews, but overall, the feedback was surprisingly strong. And based on what I've seen myself, I think most of those negatives were edge cases, not deal breakers. But alright, let's get into the part that actually moves the needle, the features. Because when you're choosing the best unusual options activity scanner, it's not about flashy dashboards, it's about what kind of edge you can actually get. Starting with Unusual Whales, this one goes beyond just spotting large trades with Unusual Options Activity Screener. Their portfolios feature is straight up fascinating. You can track filed trades from public figures, hedge funds, even Congress members like Nancy Pelosi. I followed a few of them and built a watch list just to see how their positions played out, and weirdly enough, some of those traders really do get to move early. Then there's the Periscope SPX MM exposure tool. This one's a game changer. Unlike other tools that guess at positioning based on volume or open interest, Periscope gives you real-time intraday updates on actual market maker exposure. That's pretty rare. I used it last Friday before a big move in SPX and saw exposure shifting before the breakout. That's the kind of insight you don't get from standard flow data. The market tide overview and ticker overview are clean, fast dashboards. One gives you a snapshot of how the overall market's trending, the other drills into specific tickers so you can see volume surges, sentiment shifts, and unusual activity in real time. I honestly found myself checking it more than my usual newsfeed. Now, Cheddar Flow. The big standout for me is Cheddar AI. It's like having a built-in assistant that understands options trading lingo, I asked it how to interpret a trade cluster I saw, and it walked me through potential outcomes in plain English. For intermediate traders still figuring things out, this is huge. Their advanced order details also go deep. You're not just seeing that a trade happened, you're seeing size, sweep direction, underlying sentiment, and how that fits into broader market activity. That's the level of clarity I need to confidently follow smart money instead of just guessing. Cheddar Flow feels more compact than unusual whales, but it's slick, intuitive, and incredibly focused on flow interpretation. Now, Barchart's a different beast. Their advanced interactive charts are top tier. I was able to layer in multiple indicators, compare different instruments, and even zoom in on weird price action in seconds. I'd argue their charts are more flexible than what I've seen in Unusual Whales or Cheddar Flow. And their open feed system is something more retail investors and traders should know about. You're tapping into low latency exchange data across global markets, all in native format. It's like having a direct line into professional grade data without paying Bloomberg level prices. If you're more data driven and want everything from options to commodities to crypto in one dashboard, Barchart is super underrated. Now, of course, none of these unusual options activity screeners are perfect. With Unusual Whales, the interface of this unusual options activity scanner can feel dense at first. It took me a few sessions to really navigate confidently, especially with so many overlapping tabs. But once I built my own watch list and got used to the flow, it became second nature. Cheddar Flow might feel a little pricey if you're not using it daily, but in my experience, the insights pay for themselves if you're serious about trading around whale moves. And Barchart? This unusual stock options activity platform is incredibly broad, which can be a double-edged sword. If you only care about options activity, the full suite might feel like overkill, but if you're someone like me who trades across markets, that variety is exactly what you want. Now, when it comes to price, here's what I'll say. None of the best unusual options activity scanners is dirt cheap. But for the edge they offer, I found them to be fairly priced, especially compared to what you'd pay for institutional level tools. Unusual Whales offers solid bang for your buck, especially with the depth of their tools. Cheddar Flow might be a little more niche and premium feeling, but if you're focused strictly on flow analysis, that focus is worth paying for. And Barchart's Premier tier? Considering everything you get access to, I'd call it a very fair deal. So you can check the links in the description for the most current pricing and promos they have. We try to keep those updated so you don't miss any deals. Okay, the bottom line is pretty simple. If you're hunting for the best unusual options activity scanner, all three of these tools bring serious value, but in different ways. For raw institutional style data, go with Unusual Whales. For real-time clarity and AI-assisted insights, Cheddar Flow nails it. For full spectrum market analysis, Barchart's a quiet powerhouse, but it's real strong. Check the link in the description of this video to get started with our special discount and coupon.